What if I told you the Romans had a version of your nightly wind-down routine? They didn't have streaming or tea bags, but they had something just as comforting. Tonight, let's uncover how ordinary people in the empire eased their minds without a single modern convenience. You might find their habits surprisingly familiar.
The light from an oil lamp flickers in a small Roman home as dusk settles. Outside, the noise of market day fades into quiet. Inside, a family shares a simple meal of bread, olives, and perhaps some fish. There are no screens, no buzzing notifications, just the soft sound of conversation and the occasional shuffle of sandals on the floor. Without electricity, their evening unfolds at nature's pace. The dim glow of their lamps creates pools of warm light against the walls. Shadows stretch long as they talk about the day's events, share stories, or quietly work on small tasks. Some might write letters on wax tablets. Others could be mending clothing by lamplight. The rhythm feels familiar, though their tools differ from ours. Their winding down follows the natural cues of fading daylight. Romans typically divided their sleep into two segments, with a waking period in between, a pattern still seen in cultures without artificial light. During this evening transition, they found ways to slow down without modern comforts. The simple act of adjusting to darkness became its own calming ritual. Notice how these moments rely on presence rather than distraction. A child might play with clay figures, while adults discuss neighborhood news. The smell of the oil lamp mixes with the lingering scent of dinner herbs. Without rapid entertainment, their attention settles on the space around them, the people near them. The quality of their evenings comes not from complexity, but from undivided focus. As our modern evenings often involve juggling screens, tasks, and background noise, theirs held space for gradual stillness. They transitioned from day to night with what they had: conversation, dim light, and the natural tiredness that comes after. We still seek this shift today, though our methods differ. Their evening ritual shows how humans have always needed this buffer between activity and rest. The formats change, but the intention persists. That precious space where the mind can unwind before sleep. Now, imagine stepping outside that same Roman home where the night sky stretches clear above the rooftops. A Roman steps outside after supper, tilting their head back to see the same stars we recognize tonight. The constellations shine clearly above the rooftops, free from light pollution. Farmers might note them as markers for planting seasons, sailors as guides for navigation. But everyone who looks up feels that quiet sense of wonder the night sky brings. Their understanding of these stars blends science and story. Constellations carry myths of gods and heroes, making the cosmos feel close and personal. The bright swoop of Orion still rises in winter, though for them he's a great hunter, frozen in the sky. The planets move predictably, yet remain named for deities who shape human fates. Even in towns, where smoke and taller buildings obscure some stars, people track the brightest ones. In the countryside, the view stretches unobstructed, the Milky Way a thick band of light, shooting stars flashing unexpectedly. Some might watch in silence. Others point out patterns to children, with stories passed down for generations. The act needs no explanation. You pause, you look, and you feel small, in a comforting way. Romans knew astronomy as both practical and poetic. Farmers followed star cycles for planting, but anyone could simply admire their beauty. The sky's constancy offered reassurance. No matter what changed below, it remained steady overhead. Some found divinity there, others found natural rhythms, but all felt its pull. The stars connected them to something larger, as they still do for us. Whether you live in Rome then or a city today, that moment of standing under the cosmos makes daily worries shrink. It's a habit as natural now as it was then. No tools required, just your eyes and a quiet patch of darkness. When dawn comes, though, the empire wakes to softer rhythms. People shift from stargazing to the simple movement of walking, another ancient way to slow time. The narrow garden path waits, shaded under olive trees, offering a quiet stretch for solitary steps. A Roman might walk here to untangle thoughts, noticing the play of light through leaves rather than scrolling through updates. Their version of a reset button was simply putting one foot in front of the other along familiar routes. No headphones filled their ears with podcasts, just birdsong, distant market chatter, and their own breathing. Philosophers took these walks deliberately, using movement to stir ideas. Their students followed, learning as much from the rhythm of conversation as the words themselves. But ordinary people walked too, to the baths, to visit friends, or just to pass time. The roads made space for pedestrians, even in busy cities. Stepping stones kept feet dry when it rained. Curbstones marked safe walking edges from cart traffic. Every walk became its own small adventure. Country walks differed, of course. A farmer might check olive groves at dusk, kicking up dust that smelled of warm earth. Their pace followed necessity first, inspecting crops, herding stubborn goats, but still held pockets of quiet observation. City dwellers escaping to suburban villas treasured these rural strolls, where the air stayed clean and horizons stretched open. We still seek this grounding today, though we call it mindfulness instead of necessity. Their walks held purpose, but also permission to meander, to pause, to arrive gradually. The next time you walk without a phone, you're treading a path they'd recognize. The scenery changes, but the need remains. Movement as meditation. One unhurried step at a time. A potter's hands press into wet clay as the wheel spins, just as they did in small workshops throughout Roman towns. The rhythm stays constant, centering the lump, raising the walls, smoothing the curves. Nearby, a weaver works thread through a wooden loom. Each pass of the shuttle, building cloth inch by inch. These tasks demanded focus, but not hurry. The work created its own quiet space in a bustling world. Mass production existed even then, with factories churning out oil lamps by the thousand. But in homes and small shops, making things by hand still mattered. A carpenter fitting joints for a chest took time to ensure smooth operation. Leather workers shaped sandals to fit individual feet rather than standard sizes. The process mattered as much as the product. Measured cuts, careful stitches, testing weight and balance before calling something finished. Household crafts filled odd hours with purpose. Spinning wool kept hands busy during evening conversations. Whittling knives smoothed wood scraps into toys or utensils. Even patching a torn tunic required attention. Matching thread colour. Following the fabric's weave. These weren't hobbies as we think of them now, But neither were they pure chores. They filled a middle space where skill met satisfaction. Workshops perfected specialised crafts across generations. Glassblowers passed down techniques for trapping bubbles in decorative patterns. Mosaic artists learned how to angle tiny tiles so light caught them just right. Mastery showed in details. The even thickness of a cookpot's walls, the seamless join where a cabinet's panels met. Pride lived in these small perfections, though few would sign their work. The tools have changed, but the essence holds. When we sand wood or knead dough, we join that ancient rhythm. Creation still offers what it always has, a chance to step outside time, one careful motion at a time. When we look back at those Roman evenings, we're seeing more than history. We're recognizing ourselves. The same need for quiet moments lives in us today. Their lamps may be gone, but not the instinct to pause and breathe deeply as night falls. If you found comfort in these shared rhythms, consider subscribing. More gentle stories from the past wait to be told. Each a reminder that peace has always been worth seeking, no matter the century. Before you go, remember this. 2,000 years changed the tools, not the human heart. They too carved out calm in their crowded days. We still do.